variables, functions, and oops. Oops is optional. Get familiar with libraries like NumPy and Pandas. Build a foundation in statistics. Now that is step 2. Statistics will help you to analyze the data, understand the patterns. Maybe you want to get into descriptive statistics, a bit of regression, etc. Step 3. Understand machine learning algorithms. Learn how models like regression, logistic regression, decision trees, random forest boosting work. Step 4. Deep dive into deep learning. Understand artificial neural network, convolution neural network, recurrent neural network. Understand the frameworks like TensorFlow, PyTorch, and other deep learning frameworks. Specialize in NLP and transformers. Now that is step 5. Learn how to process, analyze the natural language data, explore transformer models, and how to fine tune them. Step 6 is to explore generative AI. Focus on large language models, prompt engineering, learn about RAG, LangChain framework, and try to understand basics of AI agents. Now the final stage, step 7, is master multi-agent framework. Study systems with multiple AI agents. Use the frameworks like Microsoft, AutoGen, and Crew AI to build the multi-agent systems. There is a shortcut route to learn agentic AI. If you are comfortable diving into advanced tools early, you can use a simplified route, which is step 1, you learn Python programming. Directly jump to step 6, which is learning about generative AI, large language models, and prompt engineering. Yes, you can understand generative AI without understanding or only understanding the basics of the previous steps. And then you directly get into multi-agent frameworks like AutoGen and Crew AI. This is not hard to learn. It's not rocket science. It's actually quite easy to pick up with a bit of dedication. With just 3 to 4 months of focused learning, you can be ready for job roles in generative AI, which many companies are hiring right now. The salaries are also very highly rewarding. If you want to explore more about generative or agentic AI, give us a call. You can also join our webinar for a detailed overview, one-to-one help, and get your questions answered.
I still remember the day I cleared that interview. I felt like I was floating. My first day at the office, my HR walking me to my desk, I was excited but honestly very nervous. Even meeting my manager for the first time made my heart race. But then everything changed in a moment. One of my teammates looked at me and said she was from DV Analytics, and I told her I was too. Then Ankita stood up, she was from DV. Raj, Akash, Amit, one after another, almost half the team smiled and said the same thing. And when my manager said half of my team is from DV Analytics, I felt something shift inside me. That first day still feels unreal. I'm really lucky to be a DV Analytics student and even luckier to be part of this DV family.
Getting a job in data science or AI cannot happen with just a short 2-month course. Learning these skills takes a lot of time and effort. Many people make the mistake of joining 1 or 2-month courses. First, you need to learn how to manage data and make quick reports using Excel and SQL. Next, you learn how to make charts, data visualizations using the tools like Tableau.
Recording in progress.
Then you move on to learning Python programming. After that, you study machine learning and generative AI. If you complete all these steps, you can switch careers and enjoy 10 to 15 years of strong job security. At DV Analytics, we support you at each and every step. Our method uses real-life cases, projects from industries, lots of practice problems, and hands-on activities. You only need the strong willingness to learn. No coding knowledge is needed. Hundreds of our students have successfully transitioned into high-paying careers, and you can be the next. Start your journey with us today and turn your dreams into reality. Your future in data science and AI is closer than you think. Even if you don't join us, we encourage you to give us a call and get good advice before making a decision. We are happy to guide you with all our experience. Right now, a new popular word in tech is agentic AI. Let's try to understand what that means. Let's start with generative AI or Gen AI. Think of Gen AI is like a creative assistant. You can give it a prompt and it gives you something useful and creative. For example, you ask it to write a birthday invitation, it drafts a fun message for you. Ask for a weekly workout plan, it designs one for you. You request it to give a logo concept, it can create a good visual idea for you. Now this is Gen AI. It takes the prompt as input and it gives you content as the output. Next is AI agents. Now you take a step ahead. AI agents They just don't generate, they act. They use LLM reasoning and planning. They use also tools to get things done. For instance, you can ask an AI agent to analyze your monthly expense. It uses your bank data, a calculator, a spreadsheet tool, and shows you a categorized spending chart. Or you can ask it to track a package delivery. It accesses tracking APIs, calculates a expected delivery time, and updates you. This is action plus LLM reasoning plus the tools and APIs. Now then comes agentic AI. This is super term. Basically, it is made of multiple AI agents coordinate like human team. Picture a virtual travel agency run by AI agents. One AI finds the best flights. Now that is one AI agent. Another AI agent compares hotel options. The third one checks the local events and weather. The fourth one creates the itinerary and books everything. All agents communicated and they plan together autonomously. Now that is agentic AI. Intelligent collaboration among AI agents to complete multi-step task in the real world scenario. Mastering agentic AI requires a well-organized learning path that starts with the basics and gradually moves into advanced topics. Here is a structured roadmap to follow. Step 1. Learn Python programming. Python is essential for AI work. Start with core programming skills, variables, functions, and OOPS. OOPS is optional. Get familiar with libraries like NumPy and Pandas. Build a foundation in statistics. Now that is step 2. Statistics will help you to analyze the data, understand the patterns. Maybe you want to get into descriptive statistics, a bit of regression, etc. Step 3. Understand machine learning algorithms. Learn how models like regression, logistic regression, decision trees, random forest boosting work. Step 4. Deep dive into deep learning. Understand artificial neural network, convolution neural network, recurrent neural networks. Understand the frameworks like TensorFlow, PyTorch, and other deep learning frameworks. Specialize in NLP and transformers. Now that is step 5. Learn how to process, analyze the natural language data, explore transformer models, and how to fine tune them. Step 6 is to explore generative AI. Focus on large language models, prompt engineering, learn about RAG, LangChain framework, and try to understand basics of AI agents. Now the final stage, step 7, is master multi-agent framework. Study systems with multiple AI agents. Use the frameworks like Microsoft AutoGen and Crew AI to build the multi-agent systems. There is a shortcut route to learn agentic AI. If you are comfortable diving into advanced tools early, you can use a simplified route, which is step 1, you learn Python programming. Directly jump to step 6, which is learning about generative AI, large language models, and prompt engineering. Yes, you can understand generative AI without understanding or only understanding the basics of the previous steps. And then you directly get into multi-agent frameworks like AutoGen and Crew AI. This is not hard to learn. It's not rocket science. It's actually quite easy to pick up with a bit of dedication. With just 3 to 4 months of focused learning, you can be ready for job roles in generative AI, which many companies are hiring right now. The salaries are also very highly rewarding. If you want to explore more about generative or agentic AI, give us a call. You can also join our webinar for a detailed overview, one-to-one help, and get your questions answered.
I still remember the day I cleared that interview. I felt like I was floating. My first day at the office, my HR walking me to my desk, I was excited but honestly very nervous. Even meeting my manager for the first time made my heart race. But then everything changed in a moment. One of my teammates looked at me and said she was from DV Analytics, and I told her I was too. Then Ankita stood up, she was from DV. Raj, Akash, Amit, one after another, almost half the team smiled and said the same thing. And when my manager said half of my team is from DV Analytics, I felt something shift inside me. That first day still feels unreal. I'm really lucky to be a DV Analytics student and even luckier to be part of this DV family.
Getting a job in data science or AI cannot happen with just a short 2-month course. Learning these skills takes a lot of time and effort. Many people make the mistake of joining 1 or 2-month courses. First, you need to learn how to manage data and make quick reports using Excel and SQL. Next, you learn how to make charts, data visualizations using the tools like Tableau and Power BI. Then you move on to learning Python programming. After that, you study machine learning and generative AI. If you complete all these steps, you can switch careers and enjoy 10 to 15 years of strong job security. At DV Analytics, We support you at each and every step. Our method uses real life cases, projects from industries, lots of practice problems, and hands on activities. You only need the strong willingness to learn. No coding knowledge is needed. Hundreds of our students have successfully transitioned into high paying careers, and you can be the next. Start your journey with us today and turn your dreams into reality. Your future in data science and AI is closer than you think. Even if you don't join us, we encourage you to give us a call and get good advice before making a decision. We are happy to guide you with all our experience. Right now, a new popular word in tech is agentic AI. Let's try to understand what that means. Let's start with generative AI or Gen AI. Think of Gen AI is like a creative assistant. You can give it a prompt and it gives you something useful and creative. For example, you ask it to write a birthday invitation, it drafts a fun message for you. Ask for a weekly workout plan, it designs one for you. You request it to give a logo concept, it can create a good visual idea for you. Now, this is Gen AI. It takes the prompt as input and it gives you content as the output. Next is AI agents. Now you take a step ahead. AI agents, they just don't generate, they act. They use LLM reasoning and planning. They use also tools to get things done. For instance, you can ask an AI agent to analyze your monthly expense. It uses your bank data, a calculator, a spreadsheet tool, and shows you a categorized spending chart. Or you can ask it to track a package delivery. It accesses tracking APIs, calculates a expected delivery time, and updates you. This is action plus LLM reasoning plus the tools and APIs. Now then comes agentic AI. This is super term. Basically, it is made of multiple AI agents coordinate like human team. Picture a virtual travel agency run by AI agents. One AI finds the best flights. Now that is one AI agent. Another AI agent compares hotel options. The third one checks the local events and weather. The fourth one creates the itinerary and books everything. All agents communicated and they plan together autonomously. Now that is agentic AI. Intelligent collaboration among AI agents to complete multi-step task in the real world scenario. Mastering agentic AI requires a well-organized learning path that starts with the basics and gradually moves into advanced topics. Here is a structured roadmap to follow. Step 1. Learn Python programming. Python is essential for AI work. Start with core programming skills, variables, functions, and OOPS. OOPS is optional. Get familiar with libraries like NumPy and Pandas. Build a foundation in statistics. Now that is step 2. Statistics will help you to analyze the data, understand the patterns. Maybe you want to get into descriptive statistics, a bit of regression, etc. Step 3. Understand machine learning algorithms. Learn how models like regression, logistic regression, decision trees, random forest boosting work. Step 4. Deep dive into deep learning. Understand
Hey, can you hear me, everyone? Guys, can you hear me? Is
Yes,
the
sir.
voice clear to everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, guys, we're going to start now for this 3 hours workshop. Whoever is joining, maybe few students of DV, those who have joined, and also people from first time they are into DV and they are joining this workshop. This workshop is going to for 3 hours, and to be very honest, this workshop is something which is going to give you end-to-end knowledge about Excel. Definitely later this workshop you can explore more, but at least after completing this 3 hours of workshop, you yourself feel confident that I can start working in Excel, I can understand Excel and AI automations, and I can definitely start looking for a job, or I can apply for the job having this knowledge, what I will be earning out of this 3 hours free workshop. I'm going to start this workshop here. Before we start the session, are you guys able to see my screen? Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So let me start with first understand the Excel for data analytics and business intelligence workflow. Why do we use Excel? Remember, guys, Excel is a very powerful tool. Whether you become a data scientist or you work into data analyst in data analytics field, or tomorrow you become a CEO or CTO, chief technical officer, or chief data officer, you go for a top level position. Remember, the moment you open your laptop, you will be opening with Excel. Excel is a very essential tool that is required for data analytics or data science field. We need to understand Excel for data analytics and the business intelligence workflows. So let me start here. First thing, when you open an Excel, we should know how to go for reading data in an Excel file. So we'll understand how to go for reading data from a text file, how to reading data from a CSV file, how to read data from a spreadsheet file, how to read data from a SQL server, or how to read data from your Oracle database or any database server in this world, or maybe you're getting data from the cloud platform. Secondly, once you get the data may not be in a structured form. You have to make the data structure. You have to go for data manipulation, data transformation. So we will understand the techniques of using data transformation today's workshop class. Post data transformation is very important. You will not get one or two sources of information. You might be getting multiple sources of informations. Now, how to go for connecting a multiple source of information through our data modeling, we will talk about that today. Now, next is called, once your data is ready, you need to understand how to go for analyzing the data. Hence, when you go for analyzing the data, you'll be using pivot table. Once you analyze, how do you go for presenting this analysis? That is called data presentations. Post which, once you do the data analysis, once you know the presentations, how to create an interactive dashboard, and that has to publish to the stakeholder. That is what your 6 areas of expertise needed when you start working in Excel. The first one, data reading. Second one, data transformation. Third one, data modeling. Fourth one, data analysis. Fifth one, data analysis to the presentations. And the last one, the sixth one, is called how to go for designing a dashboard to be published. So how to understand each and every step, I'm just giving you some theoretical knowledge here in this PowerPoint presentation today. First, what is called data reading, guys? What happens when you have a data in a folder contains, let's say, 3 different files of information which you have. You have given sales underscore transaction dot XLSX file. You have a sales underscore transaction dot TXT file. You have a sales underscore transaction dot CSV file. We need to understand there are 3 different file formats. One, the file extension ending with .xlsx, we call this as XLSX format. The file Excel file and the file ending with .txt, we call this as a text document file. If the file ending with CSV, we call this as a CSV file for your data. Now we understand the data looking at the file and their extensions. Now let's understand how to go for reading data when you open an Excel file. What happens, guys? When you open an Excel file, the Excel file is opening this way, where you see at the top, it's saying that sales underscore transaction dot XLSX. That means this is the workbook which you've opened, and it is having a sheet which is called sales as a tab name. In this, when you open, this is called blank grid. What is grid? When you open an Excel, it is a combination of rows and columns. A, B, C, D, E, these are the columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, these are the rows. And when you look at these rows and columns, it comes in tabular form. We call this Excel grid. When we keep data inside this grid, we call them as a table. So we call this as a sales table. And how do we identify this sheet? We give a sheet name that is called tab name, that is called sales. That is where we understand, okay, this is my sales data, which is located in an Excel file. This is how, when we open the Excel file, we have to identify data, looking at the workbook to the worksheet and identifying the sheet with the cell reference and the values inside it. What is very important, guys? The important note which is coming out here is Excel can manage up to 10,48,576 rows. That means if you look for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 19 rows of information is given in this file. That means Excel can manage maximum up to 10,48,576 records. Second is what? we can add multiple sheets. Now you have one sheet called sales. You can see a plus symbol which is coming on the right side. The moment you click on plus, 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 it will keep on adding multiple sheets to an Excel file. Next is called Excel is a database management system and a reporting tool. We use mostly Excel for what? Managing data, now also create reports out of this data. That is where we understand Excel file for data analysis and reporting. Very next file we'll talk about text file. What happens, guys? If you open this text file, the first thing is that is given, it is sales underscore transaction dot txt file. It's a text document file. How to read this data? If you look at the first line, which contains customer ID, then there is a tab. Company, there is a tab. Gender, there is a tab. Age, there is a tab. That means it is a text document, but it is having tab as a delimiter file. This is how we identified how to look for a text file and how to identify this file delimiter, which is given as a tab delimiter. Moving to the next, it is given here. There's a sales underscore transaction dot txt file. However, in this particular file, if we look for, it is called comma delimiter file. Now we understand when we have a data in a text file, we see the text file with a delimiter. It could be a tab or it could be a comma delimiter. How to go for reading this data? If we look for data with the first, it's a text document file, looking the first line as the column header. Now each column have been separated by @. That means we call this, it's a delimiter file, but the delimiter is called @. This is how we identify how to go for reading data from a text file, where there is a tab delimiter, where there is a comma delimiter, and whether it is a delimiter. So what is the important note which is coming out of it? A text file is called as a flat file, where data is just dumped for data importing. We cannot do any computation. We cannot do any analysis. We cannot do any manipulation. When it's a text file or CSV file, it is a file where you just dump your data, and this data is going to be imported to another database server or maybe any DBMS files. Second, it cannot contain any amount. It can contain any amount of data and has no limitation in managing number of records. That means the way Excel has a limitation of 10,48,576 in text file, we do not have any limitations. We can keep n number of records of data as much as we can keep it inside the file. Third, text file can be in any delimiter format. It could be tab, it could be comma, it could be @, it could be any other delimiter also. This is how the data has been stored and kept inside the text file. So guys, are you able to understand when I explain these particular files, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now the next file is called CSV file. How will you identify the CSV file? When you open the CSV file, it says the .csv. That means it's a comma separated value file. And how do you read this data? It is opening like an Excel file. It is also having the data grids, a combination of rows and columns. And it also having a sheet name, which is called your sales underscore transactions. Ultimately, what happens? Important note is that CSV looks like an Excel file, but it is not an Excel file. Secondly, CSV can have only one sheet, but Excel can have multiple sheets. Third, CSV can contain more than 10,48,576 records. However, Excel has a limitation up to 10,48,576 records. So when I say comparing CSV and CSV and the Excel file, CSV can contain more data, but it is not having a computational power for analyzing or reporting or visualizing. We cannot do with the CSV. It is just a file, a flat file where we can dump the data as it is. Next is called as a file types. How will you identify the file before we start working in Excel? There are three different types of file. One is flat file. When you CSV and text file, this is called as a flat file. DBMS file, for example, you're getting data from SQL Server, you're getting data from Oracle, you're getting data from ERP system, you're getting data from SAP. So these are called your database file, or you are getting data from your cloud platform. These are the DBMS file. Now, the last one, which is called spreadsheet file. your Excel worksheet or Google Sheet, these are example of a spreadsheet file. So when we get data to the Excel file, we need to understand my data files in Excel. There are three types of files. I can read to Excel file. One, data from the flat files, data from the DBMS files, and data from the spreadsheet files. Important note. What the important note is here? Flat file for data dumping only, and this is used for storing data. Second, DBMS file, it keeps the data in the database with the object that is called tables. Inside the database, you have tables which you want to import. Then the third one, spreadsheet file is called DBMS and reporting tool file. That is where we use Excel sheet or Google Sheets in terms of DBMS reporting, data management, as well as creating analysis and summarizing the data. We need to understand the data types when you start working to Excel file. Let's say we have data in Excel file where it is given order number, order date, customer name, product category, quantity, price, discount, sales, and the profit margin. What is happening guys here? When you open this order number, it is called as a numeric field. But when you look at the order date, it is called date time field. When you look at the customer name, it's a character field. When it's a product name, it is a character field. When it's a product category, it is also a character field. When you look for the quantity, it is numeric. Price is also numeric. Discount is called decimal, but decimal is a part of numeric only. Even if you go for sales, is a numeric field, and profit margin, even if it is decimal, it's a part of numeric. I hope we understand the different data type when we start working to Excel. What is numeric? What is date time? What is character? What is decimal? Is this clear to all of you guys, everyone?
Yes.
Now let's understand another example.
Yes, sir.
Where it is given order ID, order date, customer ID, customer name, the age of the customer, product ID, the product name, the category, the brand, units, price, discount rate, profit margin. It is also given sales. What you are trying to understand here? If you look for the order ID, it is a numeric field. Order date, it's a date time field, but it's a numeric field. Customer ID is called alphanumeric field, which is a character field. Customer name is a character field. Age is a numeric field. Your product ID is alphanumeric, but when it is alphanumeric, it's a data type is called character. Product name is character. Product category, as well as your brand is character. Units is a numeric field. Price is a numeric field. Discount is a decimal, but it's numeric. Profit margin is decimal, but it's numeric. And sales is your numeric field. Is this clear to all? Whenever we start working in Excel, we must understand the data type, whether it is a numeric, whether it is a date time, whether it is an alphanumeric, whether it is a character, whether it is a decimal. Did you understand the data type?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, how to identify a table with dimension versus measure field? What happens, guys? When we see the data, we need to summarize this data. What is called summarization? For example, somebody says, hey, could you please get me the product-wise total sales happen? So in this case, your product has taken to the pivot table where you are summarizing the sales as sum of sales. Product is called dimension field and sales is called measure field. For example, if you have taken this output here through the pivot table where you are summarizing, you have taken customer name as a dimension field and sales, sum of sales as the measure field. So we understand whenever we read the data, we have to read the data by what? The data type, and also we need to identify whether this field is going to read as a dimension field or the measure field in terms of analyzing the data. So is this clear, guys? How to identify a dimension field, how to identify a measure field?
Yes, sir.
Now let's understand, guys, what is called data formatting. For example, guys, this is given here a product ID with the category. Guys, please go on mute. Product ID with the category, subcategory. It is given the quantity. It is given sales. It is given discount, profit, and the shipping cost. Ultimately, what is data formatting? I want to read this data, and what I'll do here, I'll make my quantity into 1000 commas separated so that I can read the number very clearly. I make my sales into currency format so that I can read my currency, my sales field properly. I made my discount field into percentage format. So my profit is also currency format. My shipping cost is also in the currency format. Does it make sense, guys? When you say data formatting, how do we go for reading data? By changing the format to the number, to currency, to percentage format. Is this clear to all of you guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Very next, why do we go for data formatting? Data formatting makes data reading simple in a particular table. What is called data transformation, guys? So whenever we get the data, for example, we got a data here, which is given order ID, order date, customer ID, customer name, the date of birth of the customer, product ID, and the product name is given, category is given, product category is given, your brand is given, your units is given, price, discount rate, profit margin, the sales information. These all field information have been given here. Ultimately, what happens, guys? In this particular data, given this table above, we have 14 fields and columns before we do the data transformation. I hope we all can read this data and we can see this table is having 14 columns and 27 records, or maybe 26 records excluding the header. Is this clear now, guys? Can you read this data, everyone?
Yes, sir.
What is called data transformation? Now let's understand. When from the order date we got order year, from the order date we got the order month, from the order date we got the quarter, from customer date of customer full name I got the customer first name and the last name, customer date of birth I got customer age to customer age bucket, from selling price. So what I did here, I took my price, I create an expression where after minus the discount rate from the price, I got the selling price. Now in the selling price, I multiplied the units, I got the sales field. Then I multiplied the sales into the discount where I got the discounted amount. I multiplied sales to the profit margin. I got my profit amount, how much I got. So that means the data which is given for only 14 columns, now it has come with what? Extra 11 columns added to this. And these extra 11 columns, it came through the data transformation. How did you do the data transformation to this data? For getting this year value, we use the year function. Getting this month value, we use the text with month format. Getting this quarter value, we use the quarter functions. We use first, getting the first name, we are using read functions. Last name, we are using read function to find. We go for getting this date deep function to get the age from the date of birth. We are using if nested if conditions from the age field to get the age bucket. Now here we are going to minus your price to the price and discount to get the selling price. Then we multiply selling price with your units to get your sales. We get the discount amount. Guys, please go on mute. Okay, guys, I have mute everyone now so that I can take the class without any disturbance. Okay, now what is happening here? We got the sales field, discount field, where I'm creating the expressions. So ultimately, guys, what is happening here? We understand the data comes as it is, but we want to get more insights. We have to transform this data using formula, functions, and the expressions. So what ultimately, what is this important note says? Given the above table, we had 14 fields, and after the data transformation, it has become to 24 columns now. Now, ultimately, what happens here, guys? Data transformation gets more insights from the fields using Excel functions and the expressions. Now, if somebody is going to ask you, hey, what is data transformations? Will you be able to answer this now, guys, everyone? Hey, guys, will you be able to answer this now? Guys, did you understand what is
Yes, sir.
data transformation? Thank you. Moving to the next. What is called data modeling in Excel? Example, you have a sales table which is given order ID, which is given order date, which is given your shipment date, delivery date, customer ID, product ID, quantity, vendor ID, and your delivery status is given. But you do not have customer information. However, you have another table which is given customer ID with the customer name, date of birth, gender, country ID, country registration date. If you want to join these two tables by customer ID, definitely you can get the whole customer information. Same way, you have a product table where you can join this by product ID. You get the complete product level information like name, category, brand, price, discount, and the supplier. If you go for joining this table to the vendor table by vendor ID, you get the vendor name, registration date, vendor active status towards the vendor category also. This is how when you go for joining these two table by the common field, we call this designing of a data model. Is this clear to all of you guys, everyone? What is called data model?
Yes, sir.
So data model can be simple. When you have a sales, all the field like customer, vendor to product directly connected to sales, we call this a simple data model. What is called complex data model? When not all the table directly connected to the sales table. Now there is a table called supplier table, which is connected to the product table. Now supplier to product and product to sales. This is how the relationship built up. In this case, we call this as a complex data model. Is this clear now, guys? What is called complex data model? Is this clear to all of you guys? What is called complex data model?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, guys, what is called data analysis and what is called presentations? Now, let's understand here. When you say data analysis, you have given a table like product ID, category, subcategory, quantity, sales, discount, profit, and the shipping cost. Looking at the numbers, looking at the data, you may not be able to take decisions. But if you analyze this data to a pivot table and convert those pivot output to a chart, it makes more sense. This is called data analysis to the presentation. Same way, you take this data where you're showing the category wise what is the sum of sales, and in this case you get this output which is presented into a segmentation chart. Does it make sense to all of you guys what is called data analysis and presentation, how it is important in terms of doing this Excel analysis to the presentation part?
Yes, sir.
What is called dashboard and publication? So when we have multiple charts, multiple data, when we want to make it as interactive and creating a storytelling, we have designed this type of dashboard using an Excel. Yes, guys, this is something we understand. When you go to the Excel, we have to understand Excel plus Excel AI today's date in terms of data reading, data transformation, data modeling, data analysis, data presentations towards pivot and creating dashboard to be presented to the business. And that should be automated using Excel plus AI today's date. Now, if I say about the workflows, does it make sense now? What is data transformation? What is data modeling? What is data analysis? What is data presentations? And what is called dashboard? Is this clear to all of you guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right? So
Yes, sir.
what we'll do now, we'll get into practicality of this class. In this practicality, what contents we're going to cover up today, we'll start with Excel navigations. We'll do the Excel data transformations. We'll understand the Excel charts. We'll do Excel lookup functions. We'll also understand what is called Excel data modeling, how to use Excel functions for manipulating the data. What is the use of pivot summary, how to make data analysis, how to define your KPIs to dashboard, and finally use of Excel plus AI in terms of automating the whole process. I understand these 3 hours is going to be very critical. Please be there, have patience. Do not leave the class in between. Be focused. Trust me, every class, everything that we're going to discuss, it is very informative. And the content which has been designed, it is just like after finishing this, after going to the video of this workshop, I myself feeling confident to do anything in Excel. Even if I'm ready to apply for the job in just 1 day or 2 days preparations after this workshop, I'm all set for getting a job in Excel. That confidence will come to you. Are you there with me? Shall we start at the practical class now, guys? Everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what I'll do here, I'll be going back. I'll going back to the folder. So this is the folder for you guys. We just completed the Excel intro. Now let's start with the raw file. What I'll take here, I'll take this Excel file. I will take this Excel file to this class file where we start going through each and every concept that has to be covered today through this content which we discussed about Excel we will go through these all 10 content which is given in this Excel file here. So what I'll do here, so let me go ahead. Yeah, we'll start with Excel navigation as per the content. We'll start with Excel navigations. We'll move to Excel data transformations, Excel charts, lookup functions, Excel data modeling, Excel functions, pivot summary, Excel data analysis, KPIs dashboard, and how to use Excel plus AI automations. So what I'll do first, I'll be starting with Excel navigations. What is Excel navigations? Look at here. We need to understand the cell reference and data range. When you start working in Excel, it starts with your call, how many times they visited to my store and how much they spent. So ultimately from this table, I can simply select here. I call this as made customer sales. So this is what I give it as my data range name here. What is that? Made underscore customer underscore sales. Now in this data, what is the starting cell reference?
A1.
A2, A1,
What is the ending cell reference, guys?
G19.
G19. And the data range is what?
A1 to
A1
G19.
A1 to
G19.
G19.
What the data range name I gave it just now, guys, here.
Made customer sale.
Made customer
Made
sales.
customer
So I say
sales.
made underscore customer underscore sales. Now, what is the table name in this case, guys?
Sale.
Same
Sale.
as
Can you
data.
tell me how many columns are there? If you select the header, it's saying the count is 7. So number of fields are 7.
7. Okay.
How many records? If you select this, excluding the header, the
18.
numerical count is coming to 18. So I'll say 18 here. How many character fields are there? Just now we understood how to
Three.
identify data type.
3.
1,
1, 2, and 3. Right? I can
2,
copy
character
this.
fields. Paste and transpose.
Hey guys, if you are DV students, don't answer anything. Right? This is how we understand how to go for creating this, identifying the character fields, how to identify the numeric field, customer ID, age, number of trips, and the spend amount. If I copy, right click, do a paste special values and say transpose, I can say I have 4 is the numeric field. This is how we need to go for reading data and identify the data types. Is this clear to all of you guys? Those are new, first time they're joining this workshop. Are you able to understand these guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's move to the test. Now this is what the data range. I just want to give the name as called global underscore sales. Okay. Now I want to ask you guys, this is given order ID, which is given order from different countries. When the order was given, order date, when the shipment happened, shipment date, who is the customer who gave the order, customer name, the date of birth, the segment, whether they're the individual customer or whether they're the corporate customer or whether they're the home office customer, or which city they're belonging to, which product ID they have ordered, how much sales happened, how much quantity they had ordered. So this is the data is given. Could you please tell me, those are not DV students, I'm asking you guys, could you please tell me in this data range, what is the starting cell reference, everyone?
A1, A1,
A1.
The ending cell reference here,
K21,
K21. Can you tell me what is the data range?
A1
A1
to
to K21,
And can you tell me what is the data range name here? We just gave a
Yes.
name here.
global sale.
Global sales.
We gave it as global underscore sales. Right? Global underscore sales. What's the table name then in this case? Cell. How many
Same.
fields are there or columns are there? Can anyone tell me? How many columns are there?
11,
11.
How many records are there, guys?
20,
20.
Excluding the header, you have 20 records. How many character fields are there?
3,
Is it 3 or more? Look at properly. 1, 2. The alphanumeric is a part of character only.
okay,
1,
okay, sir.
2, 3,
3,
4,
4,
5,
6,
and 6.
6, 6, 6.
I can select this by pressing Ctrl key, right click, do a paste special values, and I say transpose. If I do that, I found here 6 is my character field. How many numeric fields in this case? Order date, shipping date, date of birth, sales, and the quantity. If I copy, right click, do a paste special, values, and say transpose, I can see these are the 5 are the numeric fields. Does it make sense to everyone? Is this clear to all of
Yes,
you
sir.
guys? Right.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, very importantly, we do need to understand the Excel journey. The Excel journey happens this way, which we are supposed to know. It starts with the workbook. What is the workbook name? Excel class files. .xls is the workbook. Inside workbooks, these are called test one. These are the worksheets. So we will start with what? Workbook. Inside workbook, what we have? Worksheets. Inside worksheets, what we have? Cell reference. Inside cell reference, what you have? Data range. After data range, you call them as what? Tables. Tables with what? Columns. Columns to what? Values. Values with what? Data types. And what are your data types? There are 2 types of data types. Either way, it could be character or it could be the numeric data type. And what happens, guys, when you say character, even if you say alphanumeric is a character, even if you say date type, it's a part of numeric. Does it make sense, guys? Everyone, did you understand?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Right. Now, what is called data formatting in Excel? Still, guys, we're in Excel navigations. As for the content, we have to move from what? Excel navigation, data transformations. Still, we are in data Excel navigations. We are going for data formatting. Understand what is data formatting? Give a order.
Highlight the particular. Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Are you a student of DV?
No, sir.
Okay, good. So there is an order number which is given, correct? Now in the order number, there is also order date is given. Now this order date is coming number of days. What you'll do here, you will right click, you will do a format cell to make it as a date format. So what happens, Excel normally reads the date into numbers, but you can convert that number to a date format. Now I can understand it is 1st January 2026 data. Now shipping date is given, delivery date is also coming number of days. So you can right click, you can do a format cell, make it to what? A date format. This is how we use date format to read the data into proper date format. Moving to the next to the right side, what you see here? The unit sold. I want to present my unit sold into format cell. I want to make it as a number format with 0 decimal places, 1000 comma separator. Now I can read my unit sold, which is coming as 1000 comma separator as a number format. How will I go for reading my selling price and my cost price? I can simply right click and do a format cell, make this to a currency as, let's say, Indian rupees. I got this Indian rupees. How to read my discount percentage of profit margin? It is decimals. I can select these 2 columns, do a format cell, make it to percentage format without any decimal values. Did you understand, guys, how we go for reading data? For this sales, I can select selling price format pattern, copy the same format pattern, and I can apply across all these currency fields, and it is going to apply. So this is what BU select format pattern to copy the format of one cell, apply to another cells. Does it make sense to all of you guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now we'll do a test to understand. Now you tell me, guys, in this particular data, my order date is coming number of days. How to make it to date format? What will I do now?
Press the
Right click, format cell,
format cell.
and choose to date format. Yes or no?
Date. Yes.
If
Sir.
I want the same date format to be applicable to here, what will I do? Select this,
Format
go to
painter.
home, format painter, and apply this here. I can also apply this to here. Is this clear how to use format painter, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Date format.
Does it require to go for doing any formatting in customer ID? No, leave it. Customer name, no, leave it. Whatever fields are not required to do any format, just leave it as it is. Unit sold. Which format I should prefer here? Number or currency?
No, number.
So what I'll do here, format cell to make it a number with 1000 comma separator. Now, how do you go for presenting the cost price? selling price, I can do a format cell. I can present this toward currency with
Currency.
Indian rupees, or I can go for United States US dollar. Yes or no, guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
How will I go for presenting my discount here? I can select discount and profit margin. Since it is decimal, I will choose format cell to make it as a percentage format. Does it make sense to all of you guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
How will I make my sales? It's a currency format. I'll copy the selling price format painter. I can apply across all these three fields. These all three fields are going to what? Dollar currency format. Does it make sense to all? What is called data formatting? Everyone, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, guys, we are going to do here. The next is called data filtering. What is data filtering? For example, given this data, customer ID to company, card, this is given as a gender, the age of the customer, which state they're coming from, keyword means Queensland, WA means West Australia, NSW means New South Wales, and how much this customer has spent in this particular store. And they have captured through unique identification number to the customer. That is called customer ID. In this data, can you tell me how many records are there, guys? In this table, how many records are there? Can you see here?
5, 1 and 2.
511. That means 5,000 records I have. How many columns you have? How many fields you have?
7.
6.
Six is the field. Now I want to go for filtering the data. I can select the header. I can go to the data. I can click on sort and filter and filter. In this filter, I will say I want to see only Apollo. So you select only Apollo data. I want to go for gender, where I want to select gender as female. I can select only female. I want to go for the age, where I can say the number filter greater than, I will say 50 years age. So now it has selected all the customer from Apollo female, those are aged more than 50. I want to go for state code, which is for New South Wales. I can select only for New South Wales. I can go for selecting the spend amount, which is greater than $500. If I do so, it is filtering the value according to the way you want to see the result. Now I can copy this data. I must not save in the same sheet. I should go for the next available sheet. After the filter, I must paste my filter values over here. Does it make sense to all of you guys, everyone? Yes. Now let's do one more example here. What you can do here, we'll be going for selecting this data from the header. This time I want to go for filtering the data, Apollo, Plan, Genome. I want to go for gender, both female and male. I want to go for age, which I'll choose the number filter, which is between, I will say 15 and 18. I will go for choosing this state code as New South Wales, Queensland, and West Australia. I want to go for the spend amount should be greater than $500. So I just put these conditions. Now my data has been filtered. I will say Control Shift right arrow to select all the columns, down arrow to select all the range of data. Now I can paste and filter. Filter values should be pasted into another sheet, not in the same sheet. Did you understand how we go for filtering the values from the existing table, guys? Everyone, is this clear?
Yes.
Right? Okay. Next is called advanced filter. What is advanced filter? This is my data. This is my criteria for Religare female greater than equal to 50 years age, state code Queensland, GSK male greater than equal to 60 for West Australia, Apollo male greater than equal to 70 years age, and Victoria male plus for female greater than equal to 30 years of age, and ACT is the state. Based on this criteria, I want to filter value from here and I want to paste it to P1. How would I do that? I will be going for data, filter, advanced filter. I will choose copy to another location. The list range, I will be selecting column A to F. The criteria range, I will be selecting over here. Then I'll say copy to which location, which is P1. If I do so, I can see the data has been filtered based on this criteria and pasted here. Now you can see for Religare female, age greater than equal to 50, Queensland is coming. Does it make sense to all? Is this coming as per the filter given criteria? Everyone.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Now
Nice.
let's Let's move to understand what is called data sorting in Excel. Given the student name and score, if I copy and paste the data here, what I see now, guys, student name, which is coming alphabetical order. But can I read this A to Z? I can select column E. I can go to data. I can sort this A to Z, which is going alphabetically. A to Z is coming. If I copy this data and paste it here, I can go to the score. I make the score Z to A, which in descending order. So I can read the data in a descending order. Does it make sense? I can easily identify who is the highest score, who is the second and third highest. We need to know how to go for sorting data to indexing the data to read properly in an Excel file. Is this clear to all, guys? Everyone? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So once
Right? Now let's move here. What you can do, it is given student name, subject, year, and the score is given. What we want to do here, guys, we want to find out each student and year wise what is the high scoring subject name. So how to do this? Select all the four columns, go to data, sort and filter, where you can start with what? Student name. You go by year, you select the label called score and make the score largest to smallest. If you do so, did you get the output is coming? Year 2020 for the student Amit Sharma, the highest scoring subject name is history. For 2021 for Amit Sharma is history. 2022 for Amit Sharma is coming science is the highest scoring subject. Did you understand how to go for sorting data when you have multiple columns? I'll give another example out of this. Given this table here, it is saying get year and subject wise who is the highest scoring student. Who is the highest scoring student? That is what you need to identify here. How do you go for doing this? Select this, go for filter, custom filter. The first label is what? Year. Second level is what? Subject. Third level is going to be your score in largest to smallest. If you do so, you can find out 2020 in English, the highest score is Priya Verma. 2020 in history, the highest score is Amit Sharma. 2020 for mathematics with the highest score Neha Gupta. This is how we go for reading data in a sorting and indexing the data. Does it make sense, guys? How will you go for sorting the data? Everyone.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next is called conditional formatting. Guys, what is conditional formatting? So given this data, somebody has asked, hey, could you please go? I'll just do it here. Three different examples for you to explain, right? So this is the data which is given. You got to highlight in this data, highlight if the score is less than equal to 50. So you can select this range, go to home, come to style, conditional formatting, highlight the cell value. If it is less than 50, you can see that it is highlighted here. Same way, if you want to highlight if it is greater than 50, select this range, go to home, come to styles, select this if it is greater than 50. So this is how we go for highlight, whether the score is less than 50 and greater than 50. Now, how to highlight both in the same cell, right? Greater than 50 and less than 50, select this range, go here, don't choose this, don't choose this, come to the new rule. In this new rule, select the second best rule. Format only cells that contain if it is less than or equal to 50. How do you want to highlight? Choose format, make the background color red color, the font is bold and say white color. So if you do that, what is happening in Excel? It is highlighted. Whoever has scored less than equal to 50 is going to be red color background, font as white and bold. Now select the same range again. Since you have already applied one conditional formatting, say manage rule. Already one rule is there. You add another rule to this. This time you say if the score is greater than 50, how do you want to highlight this? I want to highlight this by what? Fill the background color green color, font as bold, and say white color. So this is how I highlighted both red color background and font as white bold, green color background and font as whiteboard in the same cell. This is what called conditional formatting. Does it make sense to all of you guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'll be doing this example. Highlight the cell value based on the conditions given here. How will you highlight it? If the score greater or equal to 70, you want to choose the background color as a green color and the font is white and bold. If the
आज
background,
पैदल यार आज
Can
गाड़ी
okay, if the score is greater or equal to 50 but less than 70, we want to begin the background yellow, font as bold and black. If the score is less than 50, we want to make the font as white and bold. So how to give these three conditions over this data? Select this range, go to conditional formatting, make a new rule to this. In this new rule, choose format only cells that contains. If you say if it is greater than equal to 70, how do you want to highlight this? You want to highlight by format, choose the background color as a green color, font as bold, and say white color. Does it make sense to all of you guys, everyone?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
If you say conditional formatting here, where you can say manage rule, already one rule you have, add another rule. This time, if you say it is between 50 and 69.99. Why? Because already you have taken the first condition, greater or equal to 70. So we'll go for 69.99, format the background, which is yellow color, font is bold and it's a black color. So this is how we have to do this. Again, select this here, going to this conditional formatting, manage rules, add rules to this. If it is going to be less than, what do you say here, guys? If it is less than 50, I want to choose the background color of this as a red color, font is bold, and it's a white color. This is how I need to apply this here. Everyone, are you getting this?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Next is called color scaling. What is color scaling? Given this range of data, when I select it, you can see below it's saying that average is 59.975. The count is 120. The numerical count is 120. The minimum value in this range is 10, maximum is 100, and the total sum of this value is 7197. Did you see? These are the aggregation is coming below automatically when you select the range. Everyone, can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now selecting this range, what I do here, guys, I go to conditional formatting. I do something called color scaling. I choose this color, but I don't have any idea how this color background of red, blue, white is coming. I have no idea. What will I do now? I'll select this range completely. I'll go to conditional formatting, manage rules. Selecting this rule, I will say edit the rule. In this edit rule, it's saying that it is gone for 3 color scaling. By lowest value, I will choose number. The midpoint, I will choose number. And the maximum, I will choose number. Why? Because I know my data starts from 10. The midpoint would be 50. Just give it. And the max point is given to what? 100. Yes or no, guys? Can you see this, everyone? Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, how do you
Ah,
want to
yes.
read this? The midpoint is red, the midpoint is yellow, the max point is coming to green. So this is how we need to apply to do this. Everyone, is this clear?
Yes.
Right? Okay. What is icon set? If you select this, you go to this and say icon set. I don't know how these arrow indicators are coming and what is this mechanism or computational language which is running in the back, which is giving this as a green arrow, red arrow and all. So what I'll do now first, I'll select this all completely. I'll go to conditional formatting. I will say manage my rule. I want to say edit my rule. This time I can see the icon sets have been taken for 5 different arrows, but it is based on percentage. I will say go by number because I know my number range, which is between 10 to 100. I will say anybody score greater than equal to 70, put them as what? Your green color flag. Anybody who has scored greater than equal to 50 but less than 70, give them as yellow color flag. Anybody who has scored 40 but less than 50, I want to give them as traffic light for yellow. If anybody who has scored greater than 30 but less than 40, I want to give them as something like this called exclamatory mark. But anybody who has scored less than 30, I want to give it as a red cross. This time, I want to show icon. I don't want to show the values. If I click on the show icon only, apply, I can see this icon indicates which particular subject my students are doing good. The more flag in green color, it shows students are doing good in that particular subject. The more cross in that particular application, that shows that students are not able to complete this and it is becoming difficult to them to pass the exam. Does it make sense to all of you guys? How to go for these visualizations using conditional formatting? Everyone, yes or no? Guys,
Got it,
are you able to
sir.
understand
Yes, sir.
this? Right. Next is called text to column. What is text to column, guys? Given this data, look at the first line. It is saying laptop company, comma, India, comma, USA, comma, UK, comma, Germany, Japan, Canada, Australia. That means in this data, what is the delimiter? Delimiter is how these fields are separated to each other. What the delimiter guys here?
Comma.
Comma. So how to make this field separated? You can select this column, go to data, data tools, you have text to column. In text to column, look for the delimited, choose delimiter as comma, and you can say next and finish. Now you can see your data has been distributed into multiple columns through the delimiter that's called text to column. Is that clear to all of you guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Test 4. Could you please tell me what is the delimiter in this data, everyone?
Yeah.
It's not tab, it's pipe. So how to do this? You will go to data, data tools, text to column, delimiter. What you will choose here? Others as what? Tab. Because tab is the others as pipe. Because pipe is not given here. So if you say next to finish, you can see all fields are separated. Everyone, did you understand how to go for reading data using text to column? Is this clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Right. What is called removing duplicates? Hey guys, given the student name here, if I want to identify unique student names, I can select this column, go to data, data tools, I can say remove duplicates so that I can see all the unique names. Same way, given this table here, right, I can see number of records coming to 25. But when I select all these three columns together to remove duplicates, it is giving me how many records now? It is giving only 80. That means 7 duplicate records were there, which has been deleted now through remove duplicates. Is this clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now we'll talk about data transformation. What is data transformation? For example, data expression. What does that mean? Order date. What will you do now, guys, here? To get your order format, date format, you will say format cell to date value. Yes or no, guys, everyone? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We can also use format painter to apply here to deliver data as well. Now, does it require to do any format to these fields? Not required. Unit sold. How do you want to format these guys? How do you want to format this? Number format? Format cells with number.
Number.
Right. How do you want to present your cost price? You will be presenting by what
Currency
format cell
format.
to
Currency.
currency. Let's say Indian rupees. I want to make the same thing to be applied here. What will you do now? Format painter to be applied.
Pending.
How to
Currency.
go presenting my discount field here?
Percentage.
So I can go for the percentage here. Hey guys, those
Cheap.
are answering. Are you the student of DV, old student, or you are the new student guy, new
New
student who joined for this workshop?
New students.
Very nice. How to calculate sales, guys? Here, tell me.
Selling minus cost price.
You will say unit cost should be multiplied with what? With what? The selling price. It should multiply with what? Selling price, which is going to what? Minus the selling price to be multiplied with what? Discount percentage. So whatever is going to come, that is where your sales is being calculated. How to get the discounted amount now, guys? What is the discount amount? The selling price should be multiplied to what? This. This should be multiplied to what? The units. This is the discounted amount. Everyone, yes or no? Are you getting this? So whatever the selling price multiplied with discount, that is the discounted price. If you multiply that with the unit sold, that was discount is given. Is this clear to all of you guys?
Yes, sir.
To
Yes,
present this, we go by
Yes.
this way so that we can understand the expressions properly. How to go for profit margin? So whatever the sales happen, over this sales, you have got what? The profit margin of what? 18%. So this is how you got the profit margin is also coming. Did you understand what is called data expressions, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right? Okay. Now this is what called the expression here. Okay. Right? This is what you have created the expression here. Are you getting this, guys? And how did you create this expression? So this is how we go for creating expressions using Excel. Is this clear to all of you guys, everyone? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Test. Shall we go for a test now? It is the data from Indian yesterday, right? This data is very much genuine. Understand? This customer who gave the order on this particular date, it is given the invoice number, the due payment pickup, tandoori half chicken has been ordered, the price for the tandoori which is given to 200 rupees. So how do you want to present this? Format cell by what? Currency format. Yes or no, guys, everyone?
Yes.
Now this is the quantity has been sold out. How much discount is given? There is no discount was given to this customer. So format cell by currency as Indian rupees. Does it make sense to all of you guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
How to present your tax? Tax should be presented as what? Format cell to percentage format. Understood? So now we need to identify sales after discount. Or let's say price after discount. So how do you calculate the price after discount, guys? You will say equal
Price-
sign, the price minus
Price
discount.
minus discount.
Now, how will you find out the total sales? The sales would be coming as what? The units of quantity multiplied with what?
Price after discount.
Price after discount. So how will you get the tax amount, guys, on this sales? What will do now? He will say the sales to be multiplied with
Into
what?
this
Tax percentage.
tax.
How to get the sales revenue after tax? What will do now? He will say the sales minus tax. So
Tax.
this is how we go for creating expressions. Does it make sense to all of you guys, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So now, guys, we have completed the major topic about Excel navigations. At least now you understand how to go for using Excel. We are going to start now data transformation. What is data transformation? You will be starting with importing data from an Excel file. Now let me go ahead and show you your data file, which is given as data importing from the Excel file. What is this Excel file name? Sales underscore data. And this is what the data where we want to go for importing this data from this file to Excel file. So how to go for reading this data from Excel to Excel? Now let's do this here. Go to this data transformation from the Excel file. This is the sheet. I can keep my cursor at A1. Go to data. I will choose get data from workbook. It will ask me where your workbook is located. My workbook is located in my PC. I can go for free workshop, Excel content. I'll go to Excel AI. In the raw data, in this data, I have data importing where I'm going to read this data file here. Sales underscore data.xls. The moment I say OK, it is opening here. Navigator saying there is a sheet 1 in this Excel file. You will read this data. Your data looks like this way. For me, data looks perfect. I can say transform data. Do not say load to the Excel file. Say transform. The moment you say transform, it will open in a Power Query editor window. I can call this name as, let's say, prod underscore sales table. So this is the table name is prod underscore sales. I can say close and load my data. When I say close and load, now this data has been loaded to another sheet where I can see my data is coming from the Excel to this. This is coming with what? Filter and banded row columns, colors. What you can do here, go to table design, make it to light and remove the filters. This is how you can read data which is read from Excel file to another Excel file. Very next, what we want to do here, guys, data reading from a text file. How do you go for doing this? Go to data, go from get data, this time not from Excel file, from text or CSV file. It's saying in this data importing folder, there's a CSV and text file there. You can click on this text file. The moment is import, what is happening? If you look at the data file also here, can tell me guys what the delimiter in this data file, everyone? Comma. So automatically you can see here, the system has identified sales underscore data is a delimiter as comma, and you just have to load your data, nothing to do. You just load. Now data is loaded. You can say table design, light, and remove the filter. This is how your data reading happened from what? The sales underscore data.txt file to your Excel file here. Next, we'll be talking about how to go data reading from a CSV file. For CSV file, you will go to data, get and transform data, choose from file, from text or CSV file, select the CSV file here, import the CSV file. CSV stands for comma delimiter file. You can say load my data. Now it is loaded data from what? From CSV file to Excel file. How to remove this filter? How to remove this banded row color? This is banded rows. I will just simply say here light filter. That's it. This is how we go for importing data to an Excel file. Is this clear to all of you guys? How to go for importing data? You have to go to data. You have to go to get and transform data, where you can go for reading data from this file. Does it make sense to all of you guys, everyone?
Yes,
Right?
sir.
Now, how to go for exporting data? You want to export data from the Excel file to one Excel SX file, Excel macro enabled file, Excel SM file, Excel SB, which is called Excel binary mode file, .txt file, .csv file. I want to export data to 3 file extension. How will I go for doing it? I do not have any data here. So what I can do? I can go back to the folder. I have data exporting. Now there is a sales data. I just open the sales data here. Now my data is open, which is here. Now how to go for exporting this data? If I go to data, does it show somewhere export? It is called get and transform data. I don't see any option says about exporting in this. And in Excel, what is the meaning of Excel? Export. You can select the data from the corner, go to file, choose save as, more options, search where you want to export the data. If you want to export data to this particular folder, I call this sales underscore data. Let's say, I call this name as all. So I'm going to say sales underscore data all. And what is the extension of the file I'm choosing? Save as type to Excel SX. So now this will store in the same folder as sales underscore data underscore all.xlsx. Now this time I select again from the corner, go to file, choose save as, going to this, I choose this time save as type to text with tab delimiter. If I do the text with tab delimiter, I can see in the folder my file has been stored with tab delimiter. If you open the file, you can see each fields are separated by what? Given tab as a delimiter. Does it make sense to all of you guys, everyone? Are you getting this? What I'm doing here, everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you want to save this to CSV file, select from the corner, go to file, choose save as, more options, going to this folder, you choose this option called CSV, comma delimiter file. So now you have saved the file here as a CSV file. Does it make sense to all, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you want to save this file into macro enabled file, save as, go here, choose the save as type to what? Excel SM, that is called Excel macro enabled workbook. Now, if you say save, you can see the file has been stored with .xlsm format. Same way, you can select this file, go to file, choose save as, and this time you are exporting this data to what? Binary mode file, which is called .xlsb. what is happening when you save the file into binary mode? It is going to compress the original size. The original size is what? 20 KB. Now it is compressed to 17 KB. Mostly when you want to save the Excel file with a lower size or compress the size, you go for storing the file with .xlsb. So what we have done now here in this file, we have completed all the exporting options. Now let's move to the next, which is called Power Query. What is Power Query, guys? Now you have given a data here. You have given a sales data. Now I will be taking the sales data and I want to transform this data before importing. What does it mean? So let's go for transform this data using Power Query. So I'll go for selecting this, go to data. I will choose get data from Excel workbook. This time I'll choose from Power Query. The file name is sales underscore data. Now what I'm doing here, guys, what I'm going to do here, I select this. When I open this Excel file, it's saying that navigator. There I can choose it is a sales data, which is coming into here in the right side. Now, since I'm going to read this data from the Excel to Excel file, I will just say transform my data. The moment you say transform data, it will open in your Power Query editor window. You can see this is the file name called global sales. So how to go for using global sales to this particular file? Remember, guys, 1, 2, 3 represents it's a numeric field. Date time icon represents it's a date time field. ABC represents it's a character field. But when the field is representing as 1.2, that means it's a decimal field. 1.2, that means a decimal field. Now, how to go for transforming this data? This is the order date. I want to get order year. I want to get order month. And I also want to get the order quarter. So what I'll do first, I'll go to this Power Query, add column. I create a custom column. In this custom column, I want to go for getting order underscore year. How to get this order underscore year? There's a function called date dot year. You can see the function name is what? Date dot year. And I can use order date. So when I do this, it's saying that no syntax errors. The moment I say OK, I can see my order year has created. I can go to change type to make it as a whole number so that I can see this order year has been converted from to the number which is coming through my Power Query function. So I need to drag this column and keep it besides to my order date so that I can see order year. Now, how to get order month? So there is something called custom. I can write here order underscore month. I want to get order underscore month as month. There's a function to get order month into text format. So you can go back to your this PC. I'll just go to open my ChatGPT. I will say in Power Query, how to get month name in text from a date field. If I search for that, it is saying that you can use the expression like this. Date dot month name. You just copy this here, paste it. Instead of taking this column name, remove and select the column name from here. When you apply this, what is happening here? It is coming this order month into ABC 1 to 3. What is ABC 1 to 3? Is alphanumeric. That is also fine. You can drag this column. You can keep it besides to your order date. This is called the Power Query we use to transform data. Now from the order date, you got order year, you got order month. I want to get the order quarter. How would I get the quarter? To get quarter, if you want to get the quarter, there's a function. Okay, it's saying that you can go for date to quarter, which is going to come in 1, 2, or you can go for using this particular function. So I can say add column, custom column to order underscore quarter. If I say order underscore quarter, it's in Q. Take the date field here. Order date. If I say OK, what is happening? I can see my order quarter is coming to Q1, Q2, Q3 like this. I can drag it and I can keep it over here. See? From my order date, I got order year, order month, and order quarter. Now let's move to get date of birth is given. I want to get the customer age. Right click, say duplicate column. Now this column has been duplicated. I call this age. And how to retrieve age from this? Select this column, go to transform, date, choose age, and duration, you choose it by total years. You can right click, change type to a whole number. Now you got the customer age here. Drag this column, research date of birth. You can see from date of birth, we got the customer age now. Move to the next. I want to get units. Price is given. I want to get the discounted rate. So how to get the price after the discount rate? You can simply go to add column, custom column called selling price. So how do you get the selling price now? Selling price would be your price minus price into discount rate. This is what you created your expressions. So now you got your selling price. Selling price is coming ABC 123. Right click, change type to a whole number. Now you got the selling after your discount. You got the selling price here. Now how to get your sales revenue? Go for custom or sales underscore revenue. How to get the sales revenue? You will say the units to be multiplied with the field which is called selling price. So now you got the sales revenue. How to get the sales revenue? Change to a whole number. So this is how you got the sales revenue. So we transform the data. We can go to home. We can say close and load my file. When I say close and load my file has come here after the Power Query. Remove this. This is the data which is created for you. Is this clear now, guys? Everyone? Did you understand how Power Query works? Guys, are you there with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we have something called Excel charts. But before going for the Excel charts, we'll take a small break here for 10 minutes. Please come back. We'll start with the Excel chart here.
Recording stopped.
So we're going to start the class exactly, guys, at 8:28. Please take 10 minutes break and come back.
Okay, sir. Cybersecurity is important to make your data secure and to run things more smoothly without any hesitation. Hi, I'm Naman Shah. My name is Priya Punjabi. I'm currently pursuing Masters of Cybersecurity at Teaching University. To ensure
Hello.
Okay, guys, are you there, everyone? Shall we start now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
One more minute, we'll start. So are you able to understand the content and the sequence, the way we are going to complete this now? Are you there with me, guys, till the end? Guys, do you understand the sequence of completing this? We started with Excel navigations. We completed data transformations. Now we are going for charts. After that, we'll go for lookup functions, data modeling. These all will go very fast. The time taking was happening for these two. Whatever is there coming, these all go very, very fast. Are you there with me, guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Recording in progress.
Guys, we start with the Excel charts. So before going for the charts, so let me take you through first data reading in chart. When you have a data which is given as product and sales, if I look for this data, I have a data range. And the data range is starting from what? C4, it has gone to D12. So I can say C4 to D12. Number of fields. In this, I have two fields. Number of records, if I say in the data, so I can say here selecting this, I have around 8 records, right? Now in chart, records is called data series. So we call this as the data series here. Now, if you look at these two columns, one is your character field, second one is called the numeric field. But in chart, we call character field as the dimension field and we call numeric field as the measure field. So ultimately what happens, guys, here, your x-axis in the chart, when you go for creating a chart, in the chart, you have two axes. One is x-axis, second one is called y-axis. So ultimately the dimension field goes to x-axis and the measure field goes to y-axis. So in this case, your product is going to be your x-axis, your sales is going to be your y-axis. What I'm talking about, how does it make sense to you? Now let's understand here. If I select this data, go to insert, come to charts, I click on this 2D column chart. Now this is what the chart is created here. This is my x-axis, which is all about product. This is my y-axis, which is all about sales. Now in this chart, we have different chart objects. So what are the chart objects? Now let's do this one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 objects. When you select the chart here, if you right click, it's saying format chart area. That means the first object in the chart is called chart area. Second one, the moment you select the sales, it's saying format chart title. That means I will have a chart title here. After that, if I select this, it's saying format plot area. That means I have a chart plot area. Post this is something called grid lines. If these lines are grid lines, select and delete. This is called as your format axis. That means you have Y axis. If you select this format axis, it's saying that X axis. Now this is called what? Format data series. We call this as data series. Are data labels. So this is called format data labels. So you have something called data labels now. So if I talk about these objects, does it make sense to all of you guys? In a chart, you have a chart area, you have a chart title, you have chart y-axis, x-axis, data series, and each data series contains data labels. Is this clear to all of you now? Guys, are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
how to go for creating a vertical bar chart from this. Select this data, go to insert, create a chart here. Since I created my chart, select these grid lines, select this y-axis to remove. I select this format data series. I go for reducing the gap width. Select the data series again. I go to the field. I make it vary color. I add my data labels to this. I go to the title. I call this product wise sales. This is my chart type. Select this chart border. I say format chart. In the border, I make it as a rounded corner. So I make this as chart rounded corner. When I select the chart here, at the top, format is coming. I choose the background to the black color. I make the outline to yellow color. And I choose this weight for the outline is 1 point. I select this chart and make the font text to white color. Selecting this, I go to home and make it bold. Select this number. I increase the font to 12 and bold. So this is how I created my vertical bar chart. Is this clear to all? Is this clear to all of you guys?
Yes, sir.
What is called horizontal bar chart? When I select this data, go to insert, create as a 2D horizontal bar chart. In 2D horizontal bar chart, what is happening? It starts from Apple to Samsung, but showing Samsung to Apple. Select this axis, format axis, called category in reverse order. So now to make the reverse order, select this x-axis value, remove this, go and call this title as product wise total sales. Select this data series, format data series, reduce the gap width, go to field, make it vary color. Add data labels, select this border, format chart area, make this border as rounded corner. Soon after this, I can go to format, choose the background to black color, choose the outline to 4.5 point, make this font to white, increase bold to 12, choose the title, bold to something else. This is how we got this as a horizontal bar chart. Is this clear to everyone, guys? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Please, but please go slow, please. Thank you.
Sir, this is a workshop. If I go slow, I will not be able to complete whole concept. You will get the video after this. We'll go for a pie chart. If you select this range here, go to insert, go for creating as a pie chart here. Now, when you go for creating this pie chart, what is happening? I can remove this. This is called legends. Remove the legends. Remove this title also. Select this. Go to format chart area. I want to make as a rounded corner. I want to choose background color black color. I choose outline to yellow and 4.5 points. If I see white color border, I can choose no outlines. I can add data labels. I can format data labels, category name, not in values, convert them to percentage. So now to select this, go to format, text, font is white. So this is how you can go for creating as a pie chart. Now, if you want to go for making this as a line chart, what does it mean? If I select here entirely, go to insert, I can make the chart like this, which is looking zigzag. It's not making any sense how to read my data. So what I do here, I select the blank cell, go to insert, go to line chart, I create a line with marker. But while selecting line with marker, I don't have any data. I will right click, say select data. When you say select data, it will say R data. From where you will add data, series is going to be Apple. The series values are going to be January to December. Now you will have this x-axis and y-axis. Y-axis is all about your Apple and the sales. X-axis is going to be your month, Jan to December. So this is how you got a line chart. So you can go for presenting your line chart, format chart area, go to the border, make it as a rounded corner, remove these grid lines, select this, go to format at the top, background as black, yellow, make it to 4.5 points. You can select this line, format it as series, choose this line to smoothen line, decrease this line to 1.25 point, make this to dash, choose the line color to red color, these markers, choose this marker to bigger font, choose this marker to yellow color. So this is how we can go for creating as a line chart. Guys, I understand when I show these things, you will not be able to follow. But if you get this video access, you will also get this raw data file. You can start practicing by your own. We will share all these videos to you. Is this clear now, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
sir.
Okay. Now we have completed all the charts. So as per this, the charts are completed. Very important concept is called lookup functions in Excel. Now let's talk about these lookup functions. Are you there with me, guys, everyone? This is a very important concept. Are you there with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Understand, guys, relative versus absolute reference. This is the data of product which has been sold out in Bangalore, Delhi, Chennai, and Hyderabad. The sales which is given. I want to get the same sales value over here. What I'll do, I'll say equals and give the sales reference to this. When I get the sales reference here, I get the same values here. This is an example of what? Relative reference. When you say equal sign to get the reference from another side. Is this clear now? What is relative reference, guys? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right. What is absolute reference by rows and column? If I say equal sign, get the value from here, where I want to make my column G fixed and my row 25 is also fixed. That means I made fixed to my rows and columns. So wherever I'll drag, the same value for G25 is going to come. So ultimately what you see, the whole value is the same value of what? The G25. In this case, the whole value of this entire cell reference has gone here. This is called relative reference. Did you understand? Absolute reference by rows and columns. What does it mean?
Yes, sir.
When you say, I want to go for absolute reference by row, what does it mean? If I say equal sign, get the value from here. I want to make my row 37 is fixed. So what happens? When I bring G37, it will go for H37 to I37 to J37. Look at it. Since I made my row 37 is fixed, wherever I will drag, the same row value is going to fall across. Yes or no, guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Because I have made my row as fixed. What is called absolute reference by column? When it's equal sign, get the value from this. When you make column G as fixed, what happens? It is going from G49 to G50, G51, 52, 53, 54. Now in this case, you have made column G as fixed. So wherever you will drag, the same column G value will come. You can see the whole value is reflecting here. Does it make sense to all, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand the relative reference and absolute reference in Excel? What does it mean? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's move to understand if nested if condition. What is if nested if conditions in Excel? Here is an example. Somebody saying that the result of the students, if they have scored greater equal to 50, call pass, otherwise call them fail. So you will write equal sign if the score, which is here, greater equal to 50, I want to call them as pass, otherwise I want to call them as fail. And why I'm putting double quote? Because it's a text value or character value. That's why I'm going to call this value here. Does it make sense to all of you guys, everyone?
Yes,
So
sir.
ultimately what happened? I applied this over here. So this is an example of what? My if nested if condition. my if condition, if then else. Now, what is if nested if? Somebody is saying the division, if they score greater or equal to 60 called first division, greater or equal to 50 but less than 60 is called second division, greater or equal to 40 but less than 50 is going to third division, greater or equal to 30 and less than 40 is called pass, less than 30 is called fail. How do you do this? You say if the cell value greater or equal to 60, I want to call this as first division. Again, if the cell value is greater or equal to 50, I want to call this as second division. Again, if the cell value is greater or equal to 40, I want to call them as what? Third division. Again, if this cell value is greater or equal to, I'll call this as what? 30. I'll call them pass, or the last condition is going to be fail. How many if? 4 ifs. I have to close by 4 times bracket here. So ultimately, I got my output here for who is the third division, who is the second division, who is the first division, who is just passed, and who is failed. I got everything out here. Does it make sense to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How do you go for the age bucket? Given this age, I want to go for age bucket. Age is what? Greater or equal to 60, we call old age. Greater or equal to 50 but less than 60 is mid old age. Greater or equal to 40 but less than 50 is called mid age. Greater or equal to 30 but less than 40 is going to mid age, mid young age. Less than 30 is called young age. So how to go for doing this? We will say if this age greater or equal to, you will say what? 60. You want to call them as what? Old age. Again, if this age is greater than equal to, you will say 50. What I want to call them guys here? Mid old age. Again, if this is greater or equal to 40, I want to call them as what? Mid age. Again, if this is greater or equal to 30, I call them as mid young age, else we call them as young age. You will close 4 times bracket here so that you can see who are the customers, those who are coming as mid young age, mid age, or old age. That is all coming here. Does it make sense to all of you guys?
Yes,
Does
sir.
it make sense? Okay. How to go for visit bucket? Visit bucket saying anybody has visited greater than equal to 30 called loyal, greater than equal to 10 is called regular, less than 10 is called casual. So how do you go for giving this? Always start with a higher value. If number of trips greater than equal to 30, you call them as what? Loyal. Again, if the cell value greater than equal to 10, you want to call them as what? Regular. Else, you call them as casual. Does it make sense to all of you guys, everyone? Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Understood? So now, how to go for premier, advanced, and detail with the spend amount? I'll say equal sign if the spend amount is greater or equal to 1,000. I want to call them as a premier customer. Again, if this spend amount greater or equal to how much? 500. I'll call them as advanced customer. Else I want to call them as retail customer. Does it make sense, guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So did you understand how this if nested if is working? I believe
Yes.
this example will always help you now to use further. Is this clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
This VLOOKUP. Understand VLOOKUP. Given the student name, their gender, age, the data starts from A1 to C25. Now, in this table, given the lookup value, that is Samana, I want to find out from this table array what is the gender and what is the age. How will I get it? I will say VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP, what is the lookup value? Is Samana. What's the table array? Table array is A1 to C25 within this table. Which is the column index? For gender, column 1, column 2 is gender. I will say 2. Range lookup is always 0. So what happens? When you drag it, you know that my tabular is not going to change. You make it absolute reference by rows and columns. Fix this completely by pressing F4. Now you drag this down, you get your output is coming. Same thing, you go for age, right? We lookup value is Samana. Was it tabular? Tabular is A1 to C25. Which is the column index for age? Third column, range lookup is 0. What is going to fix here? I know my fix is going to be tabular. We're not going to change. So ultimately, guys, when you say VLOOKUP, it comes with 4 criteria. And what is VLOOKUP stands for? It stands for vertically lookup. So what is vertically lookup here? It comes with 1, 2, 3, 4 criteria. First, it says lookup value. Second, saying that what is the table array. Third, it's saying that what is the column index. Last is saying that what is the range lookup. So how to go for identify them? If you select this, right? What is the lookup value in this case? F2. What is the table array in this case?
A1 to C24.
What is the column index in this case? 2. Range lookup is what? 0. Did you understand how VLOOKUP works?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. Now let's do a test. This is my table array. I select this table array. I call this as student underscore scope. What is the data range name now? What is the data range name now? Student underscore scope. I want to get from this table, I want to get the value for what? Student name and the scope. I like what? VLOOKUP. What is the lookup value? This is my lookup value. What's the table array? When I select this range now, it will come with range name, which is for student scope. You don't have to fix it now. In this table array, which is the column index for SQL guys? 4 and range lookup is 0. You can drag this here. How to go for SAS? VLOOKUP. Lookup value is this. What's the table array? Range, which is the column index for SAS? Which is the
6.
column index? 6.
6.
And range lookup is always 0. How to go for Power BI? Equal sign. VLOOKUP. What is the lookup value, guys?
N2.
N2. What's the table array?
A2 to J15.
Which is the column index for Power BI?
10.
8.
8.
8.
And how to go for machine learning, guys, now? What's the lookup
Same
value?
process.
N2.
10.
What's the table array? Which is the column index for machine learning,
10.
guys?
10.
0.
Range lookup 0. Did you understand how does it work, guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now the match function. What is the use of match function? I'll say. Can you tell me, guys, what is the position for SAS? Which column index the SAS is coming?
7.
SAS is coming on 6th, right?
6.
6.
If you're using match function of SAS over this lookup array, means your header and the match type is always 0. Is it giving 6?
Yes, sir.
Could you please tell me beneath is coming in which row? Which row beneath
10.
is coming, guys? 10.
10.
You will
10.
say match of what? Lookup value is beneath. What the lookup array? Lookup array is A1 to
Student name,
A14.
column name.
Match type is 0. It is going to give you 10. So what is match function is doing, guys, here? It has 3 criteria.
Position.
Positions.
Finding the position. First is what? Lookup value. Second one is what?
Lookup array.
Third one is what?
Range lookup.
Match type.
Exact match.
So ultimately what happened, guys, here?
They give us column index number.
Yes. So when you say this, what is the lookup value? What is the lookup array? A1 to J1. What is this match type? 0. Did you understand how match function works, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
When you apply this, tell me guys, in this particular, what is your lookup value? What's the lookup value? In this function, what is the lookup value?
M15.
M15. What's the table array? The lookup array.
A1 to
A1
A14.
and match type is what?
0.
Does it make sense? Everyone,
Yes.
Yes,
you
sir.
know what guys? Now we'll use VLOOKUP with match to get the value. First of all, go for making VLOOKUP. This is the lookup value. Was it table array? This is my table array. Which is the column index for SQL? I'll use
We can
match.
use match.
Match.
Match of SQL over is the lookup array. Match type is 0, range lookup is 0. So ultimately what happens guys, when I drag, it'll go from N2 to N3 to N4. Yes or no? In this case, my column N is fixed. I know my table array, which is A1 to J14, will never change. I fix this by pressing function F4, only F4 on your keyboard. Then I know that I'll be going from O1 to P1 to Key1. So my row 1 is fixed. Absolute reference by row. And my lookup array A1 to J1 will never change. Absolute reference by rows and columns. If I do that and drag this to the right, to the down, I get this output. I don't have to do it manually now. So ultimately what happens? Ultimately what happens, guys? When I say VLOOKUP, what does VLOOKUP stands for?
Vertical.
Vertical lookup. In this VLOOKUP, guys, how many criteria you have? 4 criteria. Yes or no? What are those
Yes.
criteria? One is,
Lookup value.
second
Table
one is,
array.
Table
Table
array.
array.
Table,
third is
Column
what?
index number.
column index,
Column index.
And last one
Range.
is what?
Exact match. Lookup range. Lookup.
Does it make sense to all of you guys, everyone? Does
Yes,
it make
sir.
sense? So ultimately from this, what is my lookup value?
and 2.
What is my table array?
A1 to
A1
A14.
to
J14.
What is my column index in this case?
match
Range lookup is what?
0.
Did you understand how to use VLOOKUP with match? Everyone,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
test. Shall we do this now? Everyone,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I
sir.
select this range. I call the name as prod underscore sales underscore 2020. Just give a name like this. Prod underscore sales underscore 2020 is the range name. How to get this? VLOOKUP. Lookup value is this. Was a table array. This is my table array, which is taking the data range name. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then I'll use
Match.
what?
Yes, sir.
Match. Of
Match.
what? USA.
True.
Match type is 0, range lookup is 0. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
What is going to fix
Yes,
here?
sir.
Column N. What is going to fix here, guys? When you say O1 to P1,
Row.
row 1. What is going to fix here? My lookup array. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If I drag
Yes,
this
sir.
right to the down, I get those output here. Everyone,
Yes, sir.
did you understand how this
Yes,
VLOOKUP
sir.
works?
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So when you say okay, are you a new student or you're an old student of DB?
New student.
New student, right? Who has come for this free workshop only, right? So if you understand,
Yeah.
that means I'm taking good. If you guys understanding, then I'm feeling like I'm taking good. Otherwise, something is wrong. Are you able to understand what I'm doing here, guys? Everyone.
Yes, sir.
Understand, sir. I got it. Everything you know. You teach.
Now we are going to understand XLOOKUP. What is XLOOKUP? In this two table, what is the common field? In this table and this table, what is the common field?
Customer ID.
Customer ID is the common field. Okay. Good. Now, when you say customer ID is common in both the table, right? So I want to get company. Does company in the right side, in the left side? Does company in the right side is coming
Left
or
side.
left side? If it is
Left
left
side.
side, we have to go for X lookup. X lookup says what's the lookup value? This is the lookup value. What the lookup array? This is my lookup array. What is the return array? This is my return array. If not, if it is not, then what you want to read here, you will say missing. If the value is missing, say missing. So ultimately, what is going to fix here? My O is fixed. My lookup array is fixed. My return array is also fixed. It's not going to change. When I drag this, I got my company details. Everyone, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
State code. Again, I'll say X lookup. What is the lookup value? This is my lookup value. What is the lookup array? This is my lookup array. What is the return array? State code is my return array. What if it is missing? I'll say missing. Just read it as missing. What do you want to fix here? This is all going to fix. In this, when you drag this, is go from O5 to O6, my column O is fixed. Something from postal code. What light here? X lookup. What's the lookup value, guys? What is the lookup value in this case?
05.
That's same O5.
What's the lookup array?
Customer ID.
What's the return array?
Postcode.
What if it's missing? I will say 0. Is that okay? What is going to fix here?
Offer.
Row.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
How to go for gender? Shall I go for X lookup or shall I go for V lookup now?
VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP.
Lookup value is this. What's the table array? This is my table array. Then match function of what? Gender over what? These three. Match type is 0, range lookup is 0. What is fixed here? O is fixed. My table array is also fixed. Row 4 is fixed. And my lookup array is also fixed. If I have this value, I can drag it, I can get output here. Everyone, are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Now we are going for data model, which is very, very important topic. So we are going for data model now. Are you there with me, guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now quickly take a 5 minutes break. This is very interesting topic. Please come back. 5 minutes break from here.
Recording stopped.
Guys, take a break for 5 minutes and come back. Okay, guys. So, guys, on 5th, you guys are going to have your sequel. If you have not seen, just let me show you. You will also have workshop on SQL for 3 hours. That is going to happen on 5th of April. So, will you be able to join this? Guys?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Sure.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So there is a WhatsApp community group which you have created. Please be there. You would be getting free workshop for Python, SAS, Tableau, Power BI, machine learning, Gen AI, and agentic AI, ML Ops, LLM Ops. We'll give lots of free workshop. So if you haven't joined the community group, it is already sent SMS to you. Just have a look at it and join that community group so that you can get an update for SQL workshop and for the workshop which is happening at DB. Okay, fine. Shall we continue now, guys? Here.
Yes, sir.
Recording in progress.
Yes, sir.
So we'll start with data modeling. What is data modeling, guys? See, you have given this is called sales state. Okay. So let me put it this way. It is called as a sales state. So you have a sales table, you have a customer table, you have a product table, right? You also have your store table. You also have your staff table. Are you getting this, guys? Tell me, how will you join the sales table to customer? What is the common field? Everyone. What is the common field here?
Customer ID.
Customer ID.
You will join this by customer ID. Okay. So let's do this here. How to join this sales to product table? By product ID. Yes or
Product
no?
ID. Product ID.
How to join your sales to store table? By what? Store ID. Correct. How to join the staff table? By what? Staff ID. Are you getting this, guys? Everyone. So when you say data model designing, what does it mean? It means you're taking values and transpose. You have a sales table. You take the customer table here. Having these fields, place special values and say transpose. So how do you connect this table? You say insert. It is my customer ID, customer ID. Yes or no? Everyone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So are you getting this? How to connect to your product table? How do you go for doing this? Right click, place special values and say transpose. You call this as what? Product table. You'll be connecting this by what?
Product ID.
Right. When you select this here, place special values and say transpose. You're taking a store table. So how do you connect to source table? It is by
Store ID.
store ID. How to connect to this? Staff
ID.
table. How to do this? It is the staff ID.
ID.
So this is called as what?
Data model.
Data model. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Did you understand what is called data model? Right?
Yes,
So
sir.
ultimately, when you say data model output, how will you get the data model output? Like I have my sales table. Now I have my customer name, mobile, date of birth of the customer table. I should keep this besides to what customer ID? Yes or no? I'll get my product details. Where should I keep my product details? Besides to product ID. Everyone, are you understanding what I'm saying here? If you want to get the store information, where you want to keep the store information, guys? Besides to your store ID. Staff letter information, where do you want to keep it? So ultimately, your output should be coming like this. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
How will you get the data model output now? What you can do, copy this table completely. Now, you bring the information from here, customer name, these informations, cut the column beside this. Is that clear? Same way, you go for product level information, paste it here, cut this column, beside to product ID. Same way, store level information, paste it here, beside to this. Same way, you'll get this information. So ultimately, the question is coming, how will I get all these informations? You'll be using which function now? We look up. Lookup value was a table array. This is my table array. Match of what? Customer name over what? This is the header. Match type is 0. Erase lookup is 0. What is fixed here? This is fixed. What is fixed here? This is fixed. What is fixed here? This is fixed. And my lookup array is also fixed. When I drag this to the right, I get those informations are coming. Format cell, make the data birth get fit. Did you understand, guys, how I got this output, everyone?
Yes, sir.
How to go for product level information? We look up. Lookup value is this. Table array is what? The product entire table. Match function. Match of what? Product name over what? Head of the product. Match type is 0. Range lookup is 0. So range lookup is 0. What is fixed here? My column G. My table array is fixed. In this case, row 1 is fixed. My lookup array is also fixed. So wherever I drag, I'll get those informations coming. Understood?
Yes, sir.
How to go for store name then? We look up. Lookup value is this. The store name is what? Then match of store name over what? What is fixed here? Column name, what is fixed here? What is fixed here? Making sense to all, everyone, yes or no? How to get my staff information now? Again, we look up. Lookup value is this. Table array is this. Match of what? Staff name over what? Header. Match type is 0. Range lookup is 0. What is fixed? Column Q is fixed. Table array is fixed. Row 1 is fixed. And my lookup array is also fixed. So this is how I got my data model output. Everyone, are you getting this?
Yes.
Yes.
So now we have completed data model output. We are going for functions. What is the function? See guys, given order date, I want to go for getting order year, order month. So how will I get this order year? In Excel, there's a function called year function of order date. If I say order month, how will I get this order month? There's a function called text of order date with MMM format. Is going to get the output as Jan, Feb, March, something like this will come. From date of birth, I want to get the age of the customer. The function is called date diff. Date of birth to today with Y. Y means year format. Format cell, make it to number. So this is how you got the age of the customer. Now from customer first name, I want to get the customer. I want to get the first name. I want to get the last name. Now there's something called Excel called split text. Text split of this. If you say text split with what? Space. So you get this as the customer full name. Are you getting this, guys, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Fine. So this is how these two columns we created using Excel functions. These two columns we use Excel functions. This column we also use Excel function. That's how Excel function is used for what? Data transformation as well. Now we'll go to Excel pivot table. Before going for Excel pivot table, I want to ask you guys. So already we have completed up to this. Now we're going for the 7th one. Do you feel like too much is given for the day? Do you feel so?
Recording
feel like-
stopped.
Or you feel like, no, sir, we want to enjoy this class completely until 10 p.m. What do you want, guys? Because I see lots of dropout happens. Would you like to continue or you want to stop here? What do you want, guys?
Continue, sir.
We want to continue.
Continue? Very good. Are you the new student or you are the DV students?
New student, sir.
DV student or new student, sir?
New student.
Okay, perfect. Since people are saying continue, I'm going to continue now.
Recording in progress.
Now we are going to start now with what, guys? Pivot table form. What is pivot table? And let's look at it here. In this table is given order ID, order date, the laptop name, the customer date of birth is given, the country where this customer is belonging to, how many units has been sold out, what was the price in USD, what discount was given, how much sales happened to him, selling price after the discount, how much profit margin came, and what is the total sales revenue. These are all given out here. First of all, when I have a data, I should go for data transformation, data formatting. So I want to go for, why is something like this? Right. I want to go for getting as what? Order year. I want to get order month. I also want to get order quarter. Are you getting this, guys? How will I get this year? I'll use the function called year of this date. So I got format cell, make it number format. For order month, I use the function called text of order date with MML. When I do this, is getting this order month. Now, guys, what is happening here for quarter? I use here month function of order date. So I say format cell, make it to a number here. Okay. When I get this month, I want to call this month sale, this month by what? Divided by 3. So what does that mean? It is going to read this as what? Selling means 1. 1 means it's a quarter 1. I use Q ampersand to this. So ultimately I found what is quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. This is the function I use. Q, get this month divided by 3, the quarter, and seal this value by 1. This is the function. Customer date of birth. I want to get the age of the customer. To get this age, I use a function called dateDiff. To this date, to today bracket start close, and Y as a format. Select this format cell, make it to number. Right? So I got the age of this customer. I want to get something called age underscore bucket. What is age underscore bucket? I'll say if the age here equal to 60, I call them as old age. If this is greater equal to 40, I call them as mid age. Else I want to call them as young age. So I close the bracket here. So I got who is the old age, who is the mid age. I got this data. I go to this US dollar format cell, make it to currency as what? USA dollar. Same format painter. I apply over here. I also apply over here. How to present discount? Format cell, make it a percentage format. So I apply this here. Now this is what the data I created now. What is sales table to be analyzed? From this data, somebody is saying that, can you tell me in this laptop wise how many units sold out and what is the total sales revenue? So when I want to summarize this data, I'll select this data somewhere in this. I can click anywhere, insert, create a pivot table. The pivot table says that it is your laptop sales data. I said, okay. Would you like to create the new worksheet or existing worksheet? I'll say existing worksheet. What is the location? The location is here. I'll say okay. So I'm creating pivot table 1. To build pivot table report, choose the field from the pivot field list. So pivot field list, all the fields in the data is coming. You can drag them to the filter, to column, to row, to value, to summarize. My way of looking at laptop wise, how many units sold out, what is the total sales revenue. So this is how I got my report. What I summarized. Now I want to see that sales revenue in descending order. I can see the maximum laptop sold out. The revenue is coming maximum from where? That is called Microsoft Surface laptop, followed by HP Spectre, Dell XPS, Lenovo ThinkPad, how the sales is happening. This is called summarization. When you summarize this data, when you say summarize the data, you have summarized here, everyone. Yes or no? In this case, this is your dimension field. This is your major field 1 and major field 2. Did you understand, everyone? Dimension field is what? Laptop sales. Major field is what? Units sold and sales. Now somebody is going to tell you, can you please get me country-wise total sales? Select this data, go to insert, create a pivot table, existing worksheet, search for the location here, make the country name here as row, units sold into value, total sales into value. Did you see this? So what is the dimension? What is the dimension field in these guys?
Country.
It is country. What is the major field in these guys? What is the major field 1 and major field 2? Can anyone tell me?
Sum of units sold, sum of sales
Units sold is major field. Then sales
revenue.
revenue is a major field. How the treatment happen? Sum of units sold. Yes or no? Sum of sales underscore revenue. That's how it has been measured. Everyone, are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now, why do we go for pivot table? To summarize the data. How to summarize the data? We'll talk about here. Row to value, row to column to value, row column value, slicer connection. We'll talk about this one after another. What I'll do now, I'll copy this data from here. Let's move on to the row to value. A special and say values. That's it. So I got my data here. This is pay special values. When I say pay special values, order date is going as what? Date, number of days, format cell to date value. Format painter to apply to any other date values at there. Yes. Now, when you say pay special values, it's not going to come with the format. You have to do the format again. But anyways, it's all fine. Now, what is row to value? When you go for creating a pivot table in the existing worksheet, pivot table has some objects: field list, filter, column, row. When you say order year into row, it's saying that these are the order years. When you select order ID, you can make it as what? Summarize value as a count. These many orders have been given. If the orders have been given, what is the total number of order, total units sold out? These many orders, these many units sold out. If we say summarize value as sum, what is total revenue came? If you bring this here, it's saying total revenue sum. How do you want to present this? I will say number of orders, total units sold, total revenue in USD. I can give the column name this way. I can format this number with 1000 comma separator. I can format this value as what? Which format will go for doing this here, guys? Currency with what? USA dollar. Everyone, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
You can also present the same value year to what? Month. You can present the same value month to what? Quarter. You can also present the same value here quarter to what? By age or age bucket wise. You can also present the same thing by laptop name. You can also present the same thing by what? Your country wise. Does it make sense? How to use row and how to use value? Is this clear to all? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, take this data. I take this entire data. I'm going to paste it row column value. What is row column value? If I select this, insert a pivot table, this time I want to see the sales by laptop is all fine. I want to see the country wise, country here. I want to see the total sales. Understood? This is saying select this all, format cell, make it to a currency format. How did you do this? You are saying my total sales revenue is how much? 42 lakhs or $4.26 million. Yes or no, guys? This is called grand total. What do you call these guys here? It's a grand total. When you take a pivot table, row to column to value, it's a grand total. This is called row total. And how many row totals you have? 10 row totals. This is called column total. And how many column totals you have? You have 5 column totals. Now my question to you, from this table, could you please tell me what is the sales for Dell XPS 13 in Philippines? Can anyone tell me? What are the sales for Dell XPS 13 in Philippines? Can you answer that?
$93,149.
Right. Can you tell me what is the total sales for Dell XPS? What is the total sales? What is the total sales?
5,14,450.
Are you getting it? This is called row total. Can you tell me what is the total sales for Philippines?
7,61,500.
So did you understand how we read the data through grand total to row total to column total? If you know how to use column to row to value field, everyone, are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We can also present this analysis to the table given here, year wise, quarter into the column. I can take the number of units sold out. What is wrong? I can say 2020, the total sales is 810, out of which the maximum sales happen in what? Q3 and Q1. I can answer like this. Everyone, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely.
So did you understand? What is the grand total here? What is the grand total here, guys? Anyone tell me?
4,620.
Is the grand total. Can you tell me what is the column total for Q1?
1,107.
Can you tell me what is the row total for 2022?
987.
Now you understand how to use row to column to value, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now let's understand how to go for row to column to value with filter. Shall we go for this, everyone? This
Yes.
time I said I want to go for getting a result by year and quarter wise sales. All fine. I'll be going by order year, order quarter, and units sold. Perfect. But you know what, guys? I want to make a filter. What filter I want to do it? I want to filter on my laptop name and country. So that means if I make a filter now into filter, I can see laptop name is, let's say, Asus Zenbook. Sold out in country like, let's say, India. How much units sold out? 88.
Yes,
This
sir.
is how I can go for
88.
filter. This is how I can go for filter. Yes or no, guys, everyone?
Yes.
I can select multiples. Asus and Acer Swift 3. Not only for India, I want to go for Japan, Australia, all three together. I can see the sales. Understood?
Yes, sir.
This is called filter. What is slicer? Let's do the slicer now. For slicer, I go for creating a pivot table. This time I took order quarter, order year, unit sold, but I'll not make filter. I'll select pivot. At the top, I have a filter slicer. In the slicer, I took it as country. I took it as laptop name. That's it. What's the best part is that I don't go for filter. Select for India, select the India cells. For ASUS, I can click on this. It's showing India and ASUS cells. Same. If I want to go multiple, India, Japan, Australia, press Control key, select ASUS and SR. You can select like this. So this is called multiple selection happen. You want to remove filter, filter remove. Go for Japan, go for Dell. You can see the cells. Japan and India, press Control key, select India. ASUS and Dell, both you can select to see this. This is called slicer. What we do, we select this data, we go for creating a chart to present. While presenting this chart, we can select here, we can see the Tamasa. India, Swift, how the sales is happening, we can see through charts. Can you see this, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? So this is how we go for creating as what? Slicer. What is slicer connection? I select this data. I go for making this as what? Slicer connection. Slicer connection is what? I selected this. I go for creating a pivot table. I bring my order year, order quarter, unit sold. I copy the same thing. I create another folder. Rather unit sold, I put it as a sales revenue. I selected the sales revenue. Format cell to US dollar. Selecting this is called pivot 1. And this is called pivot 2. Are you getting this, guys? In this pivot 1, IR slicer, country, and the laptop name. So what is happening when I select here? Now, this is affected here. Does it affect here? Does it affect here, guys? Tell me.
No.
No. Because this 2 came from this pivot. If you want this to be connected here, what you can do now, first of all, remove the filter. You go to this pivot table, go to here, filter connection, give connection to both. So that means you select here, this is affect to both. Yes or no?
Yes.
That's how we go for creating as what? Slicer connections. Next is called design layout. What is called design layout? Select this data completely. Get it to here. I go for creating a chart now, creating a pivot table. I want to see the result. By laptop, by year, by quarter into row level, all 4 fields. I bring country into column. I bring units sold. I bring here selling price here and sales revenue. So what happens, guys, when you take more than 2 major field, automatically summation is coming. What I do here to make them separate, design, layout, show in tabular form. It's showing in different column now. I said do not show the subtotal, no subtotals. I want this to be filled. I will say repeat all item labels. Let's repeat it. This is called total units sold. This is called total selling, total sales. Sorry, this is called, select this price called average. Called average selling price in USD. Just give a name like this. This one is called total sales in USD. So ultimately what is happening, for each country you got this 3. Now you can drag this here to here. So ultimately it was in column, now it is in rows. So it created your pivot layout this way. Now this pivot layout, you can see this is not in align. Pivotal options, display, untick the expand button. So there was an expand is removed. I can choose the pivot style to this way. This way. I can make it this way also. This is how pivot design layout is completed. Are you there with me, guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right? I think many people are living in between. It is too much for the day then. Would you like to continue or you want to stop here, guys? Okay.
When is
So
the next lesson?
okay, 1 minute. Before we end this, guys, I want to tell you something which is very important. So when you say job opportunity in the field of data science and AI, remember, guys, there is a core data analytics stack where people are looking for to have your Excel, SQL, Python, SAS, Tableau, and Power BI. There's something called core data science with AI stack where people are looking for Python machine learning with Gen AI, with AI agents and agentic AI system, which you can develop for their company. You must be working toward deployment using ML ops, LLM ops, and AI ops. Then the last skill, which is called core data science with Gen and agentic AI skills, they want to hire, having the skills of data analytics plus data science and AI together. Now what happens? These are 3 areas people are looking forward to hire. Resources and the requirements are plentifully available, which we are not aware of it. What happens, guys? If you go with these skills, what is the expected salary being a data analytics guy? If I know only Excel, SQL, Python, Power BI, and Tableau, I can expect a job role like data analyst, business analyst, MIS analyst, reporting analyst, BI analyst, senior analytics consultant, or analytics manager. But if I know AI, I'll become data scientist or AI engineer or machine learning engineer, generative AI engineer, agentic AI engineer, AI product manager, AI architect, or head of AI or director. Or I can get it as data scientist with full stack, AI engineer, GNA engineer, machine learning engineer, analytics plus AI consultant, AI product manager, AI architect, or I can be head of analytics, head of AI, or director or VP in AI. These are the roles can be offered to you. What could be the expected salary? If you go with data analytics skills, freshers can expect 3 to 6 lakh salary. Whereas if you go for data science with AI, freshers can expect 8 to 15 lakh salary. But if you go with core data science with GNA agentic AI, freshers can expect 10 to 18 lakh salary. Having 12 to 20 years, people in data analytics can expect 25 to 45 lakhs per annum. Whereas 12 to 20, you can expect 80 lakhs to 2.5 crore. You have data science with GNA and agentic AI skill. But if you are with data science with GNA and agentic AI, advanced way, you can expect 1 crore to 3 crore plus salary in India. I'm not talking about outside India. What is happening at DV, guys? We offer the training to you, complete data science with Gen and agentic AI skills. We have a program called Advanced Program in Industrial Data Science, where you can go through all these skills. It takes 6 to 8 months time, but you get complete industry practicals, projects hands-on, and you get ready for the job. We are not only training, we are also helping you get placed, but we have a selection criteria where you have to meet so that we can take your candidature to reach our company for a placement. If you go for data analytics, where the salary is less, but it is good for non-technical people to start, or technical to anybody. Any graduate can do this complete data science with JN and agentic AI. But if you want to go for data analytics, these the courses there. If you go for advanced AI ML with JN and agentic AI, the course is given here. If you want to become a JN AI and agentic AI masters, we have a short-term program that is for 2 months. This is the application which is given here. Yes, guys, today's job market is all about JN and agentic AI. Without these skills, your job is not stable. You can lose your job any point of time. AI automation is important, and we should learn these skills. It's not a rocket science. It takes hardly 6 to 8 months time, but you can also become a high-paying job holder, or you can demand for a high-paying job with a very successful career ahead. What happens when we look at DV? We follow 8 parameters for your success. We take regular classes. Every class followed by assignments. We do the industry projects. We also do interview question answer sessions with those applications. Then we bring industry mentors who can show you the live projects. We work on your resume building. We conduct a test and mock interviews. You qualified. We take your candidate to reach our company for your placement. Our branches is in Bangalore, Bhubaneswar, and Dubai. Remember one thing, guys, we are committed to each admission with a responsibility. We want, if you really feel like you want to excel your career, you want to demand a very high paying job, no matter what is your education background, no matter how many years of experience, a career gap, or you're a fresher, everybody can start looking at a very high paying job with data science, with Jane and agentic AI skills. If you feel like you want to see your career, you want to start with us, you can always call on this number. Having said that, I will be ending this session here. The reason why
Recording stopped.
I stopped here, I will be taking these sessions definitely comparing to your SQL. Yes,
Sir, show the number.
this is the number.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Right. So what you can do, guys, I will definitely take you through this session. We have 5th April is going to have this SQL class. This I will, though it is written 3 hours, it will be completing in just 2 hours time. Last 1 hour, I will be taking you through what I left today, because what I left is very, very important for you all.